Ptolemy II Philadelphus, a ruler of ancient Egypt whose reign stretched across the early Hellenistic period, stands as a figure whose influence extended far beyond the borders of his kingdom. Born into a time of transition, he inherited a realm that had already begun to meld the legacies of Greek and Egyptian civilizations. From the outset, his life and rule embodied the fusion of cultures, the pursuit of knowledge, and the ambition to solidify his dynasty's prominence in the Mediterranean world. To speak of Ptolemy Philadelphus is to confront the dimensions of power, intellect, and cultural patronage that characterized his leadership, and to acknowledge a man whose vision was both expansive and enduring. From the earliest years of his reign, Ptolemy's dedication to the advancement of learning and the arts was evident. He cultivated Alexandria, the city founded by his father Alexander's general and renamed in his honor, transforming it into a center that drew scholars, poets, philosophers, and artists from across the known world. Under his guidance, the city's library became a beacon of knowledge, a repository of human thought that symbolized the belief that understanding the past was a path to guiding the future. In these endeavors, Ptolemy did not merely rule as a monarch. He acted as a custodian of civilization, recognizing that the prosperity of a state was inseparable from the cultivation of intellect and culture. His reign was also marked by a shrewd understanding of political diplomacy and familial alliances. By marrying his sister Arsinoe II, a union that reinforced the dynastic strength of the Ptolemaic family, he exemplified the intertwining of personal relationships with statecraft, a practice emblematic of Hellenistic rulers. This marriage, and the careful orchestration of ties with neighboring kingdoms, reflected his awareness of the delicate balance between authority and legitimacy. Ptolemy's ability to navigate the complex web of regional politics, while simultaneously fostering internal stability, set the foundation for Egypt's prosperity during his tenure. Equally notable was his contribution to religion and public life. Ptolemy Philadelphus understood that leadership encompassed more than military and economic success. It required the cultivation of social cohesion and shared identity. He actively promoted the integration of Greek and Egyptian religious traditions, honoring local customs while introducing Hellenistic practices, thereby creating a sense of unity across a diverse population. Temples, festivals, and civic ceremonies under his patronage strengthened communal bonds, establishing a cultural framework that endured for generations. His ability to harmonize differing traditions demonstrated an acute sensitivity to human experience and a nuanced approach to governance. In considering Ptolemy Philadelphus, one must also recognize his impact on the broader Hellenistic world. His initiatives in trade, architecture, and scholarship left an imprint that resonated far beyond Alexandria, influencing subsequent rulers and shaping perceptions of what a sovereign could achieve. He exemplified the ideal of a ruler who sought to balance ambition with wisdom, authority with benevolence, and innovation with respect for tradition. These qualities ensured that his legacy would be remembered not only in Egypt but throughout the Mediterranean, as a model of enlightened leadership and cultural stewardship. To eulogize Ptolemy Philadelphus is to reflect upon a life that intertwined vision, intellect, and governance. His reign invites admiration for its achievements, for the sophistication of its cultural policies, and for the enduring influence it exerted on human history. In the remembrance of such a figure, one honors not merely a king, but a custodian of knowledge, a cultivator of society, and a leader whose ambition was guided by insight and foresight. His life offers a reminder that the measure of a ruler lies not solely in conquest or dominion, but in the capacity to elevate the collective spirit of those under his care, and to leave a legacy that continues to inspire long after the throne has passed into memory. Ptolemy II's reign was defined not only by cultural patronage, but also by the formidable challenges of maintaining and expanding his dominion in a complex and often volatile Mediterranean world. His tenure as ruler of Egypt, from 283 to 246 BC, coincided with an era in which the successors of Alexander the Great vied relentlessly for supremacy. Ptolemy's strategic acumen became evident in the management of both war and diplomacy, as he sought to preserve Egypt's security while extending its influence across the eastern Mediterranean. One of the most significant conflicts of his reign was the series of confrontations known collectively as the Syrian Wars, primarily fought against the Seleucid dynasty, heirs to a different portion of Alexander's fragmented empire. These wars were largely driven by territorial ambitions in the Levant, with Ptolemy II seeking to secure coastal cities critical for trade and naval power. Historical accounts describe how he engaged in both military campaigns and sophisticated diplomacy, forging alliances and making calculated concessions to maintain Egypt's dominance. Though the battles themselves yielded mixed results, some cities remained contested. The broader strategy ensured that Egypt remained a central player in regional politics, projecting strength without overextending its resources. Beyond the Seleucid conflicts, Ptolemy cultivated alliances that reinforced his position. Relationships with Greek city-states, particularly those in the Aegean and along Asia Minor's coast, strengthened his trade networks and provided mercenary forces when needed. By maintaining a balance between cooperation and calculated rivalry, he minimized threats while maximizing economic and military opportunities. At the same time, he recognized that not all adversaries could be subdued by force. Strategic marriages, diplomacy, and patronage allowed him to neutralize potential rivals without direct confrontation, a testament to his understanding of power as both a sword and a shield. The cities under his control extended far beyond Alexandria, which remained the jewel of his kingdom. Ptolemy ruled over Egypt in its entirety, encompassing the fertile Nile Valley, the Red Sea ports, and the desert oases, while maintaining influence over regions in the Levant and Cyprus. Alexandria itself became the economic and intellectual heart of the Mediterranean, while other cities, such as Naucratis, Memphis, and Thebes, were administered with attention to local traditions and commerce. Greek advances, particularly in administration, architecture, and urban planning, were systematically introduced across these cities, creating a network of centers that were both Hellenistic in culture and distinctly Egyptian in character. Harbors, roads, and fortifications reflected a commitment to trade and security, while temples and theaters demonstrated the integration of Greek cultural norms. Ptolemy II's kingdom, at its height, was among the largest in the Hellenistic world. Egypt's wealth, derived from the Nile's fertility, trade routes to the Red Sea, and Mediterranean commerce, provided resources that enabled both ambitious building projects and extensive patronage of scholars and artists. His achievements in economic management, territorial consolidation, and cultural diplomacy ensured that Egypt remained stable and prosperous during his reign. Nevertheless, his rule was not without failures. The Syrian campaigns, though strategically significant, demonstrated the limits of military conquest against other Hellenistic powers. Some territories changed hands repeatedly, reflecting the difficulty of maintaining control over distant regions. Additionally, the reliance on Greek administrators occasionally created tensions with native Egyptian elites, highlighting the challenges of governing a culturally diverse population. Yet, even these shortcomings were mitigated by his ability to adapt policies, negotiate alliances, and sustain the kingdom's internal cohesion. Ultimately, Ptolemy Philadelphus exemplified the delicate art of ruling in an era defined by both opportunity and instability. His reign combined military strategy, political diplomacy, urban development, and cultural innovation, producing a kingdom that stood as a model of Hellenistic governance. In evaluating his legacy, one sees a ruler who understood that the endurance of power depended not only on conquest but on vision, on the capacity to harmonize diverse peoples, and on the foresight to leave behind institutions that would endure long after his lifetime.